If your MRI says you have a rotator cuff tear, maybe even a full thickness tear, and you've been told to stop lifting or that surgery is your only option, this video is for you. Your scan shows a static picture of the shoulder. It doesn't show how you move, how strong you can become, or how your body can build redundancy around that tear. Today, I'll show you what your MRI does and doesn't tell you, the 3 rules I use to decide if someone can keep lifting safely, and 4 exercises we use to rebuild strength and confidence even when the report sounds scary. I'm Dr. Seyforth, online shoulder rehab specialist with Combat Performance. We help active adults and lifters who've been told that they have rotator cuff tears, arthritis, or bone on bone fix their shoulder pain and get back to lifting, golf, pickleball, yard work, and playing with grandkids without endless PT, cortisone, or rushing into surgery, including clients with MRI confirmed full thickness tears who've canceled surgery and returned to pressing, paddling, and working overhead pain-free by changing how their whole system moves, not just hammering the rotator cuff. Here's what usually happens. You've had shoulder pains for months or years. You finally get an MRI. The report shows a partial or full thickness rotator cuff tear, maybe some arthritis. You're told this explains everything. No more lifting, you'll probably need surgery. A few key truths most people are never told. Tears on MRI are common. Lots of people walking around with zero shoulder pain have rotator cuff tears on imaging, especially over age 50. Pain and imaging don't always match. People with small tears have severe pain. Others with big tears had minimal pain and great function. You can often build redundancy. Even with a tear, we can strengthen the surrounding cuff, scapular muscles, and support systems so your shoulder has more backup and doesn't rely on the damaged tissue as much. Your MRI is a piece of data, not a death sentence for your shoulder or your lifting. To decide what's possible for you, I just don't like to look at the tear. I like to look at what I call the big 5. Your neck. If your neck is stiff or irritated, it can weaken the signals to the cuff and create pain referral into the shoulder. Number 2 is the thoracic spine or your upper back. If you can't extend and rotate here, your shoulder has to seal that motion. That overloads the cuff every time you reach or press. Number 3 is the shoulder blade. Your cuff lives on and around your shoulder blade. If the blade doesn't move up and around your rib cage, the cuff gets jammed and overworked. Good scap mechanics means less abuse to a damaged rotator cuff. Next is the shoulder joint. It's a ball and socket. It needs to drop, roll, glide, and rotate smoothly. With rotator cuff tears, the ball often rides high in the socket, making the cuff do more than it should. Number 5 is nerves. Nerves from your neck and around your first rib feed the cuff and surrounding muscles. If they're compressed or irritated, you can feel weak, clumsy, or unstable even before you're truly damaged. Your MRI mostly talks about number 4, the joint and the torn tendon of the shoulder. It says nothing about 1, 2, 3, and 5 of our big 5 system, but those are the levers we can still improve even if the scan never changes. If this is clicking for you, grab the full Big 5 shoulder guide. The download link is right in the description. When someone comes to me with a rotator cuff tear on MRI and wants to keep lifting, we don't guess, we use guardrails. Here are the 3 big rules. Rule number 1 is the pain window. During lifting, pain stays at a 3 out of 10 or less. Mild, not sharp. By that night or the next day, your shoulder feels back to baseline or better, not worse. If your pain spikes to a 6 to a 7 out of 10 and stays elevated for a day or 2 after, that workout overshot your shoulder's current capacity. Rule number 2, no rapid loss of strength. You're not dropping things throughout the day with that arm. You can't lower your arm under control. It doesn't just fail because you can't hold it. Sudden loss of strength or dropping objects is a red flag. That only might refer out for imaging. And rule number 3, control over ego. No ego maxing or sloppy reps. We use slower, controlled tempos, keep at least 2 to 3 reps in the tank, and stay away from true 1 rep maxes for a period of time. Then we match how your shoulder responds that night and the next day. If symptoms jump, we look at 3 dials. The stimulus, which exercises and ranges you use. The load, how much weight you put on the bar. And the intensity, how close to failure you push. This is exactly what we monitor daily with our online clients so they can stay in the gym and build back up safely instead of bouncing between flare-ups and rest. Now let's jump into the exercises. These are not magic tear healers. They're about building strength and stability in the muscles that support a damaged cuff so your shoulder has more backup. Make sure to use the pain traffic light with these exercises. Exercise 1 is an incline row ER press. The purpose is to train multiple phases, pulling, cuff activation, and pressing in a controlled, shoulder-friendly position. Set an incline bench with your chest down using very light weights or just body weight. Phase 1, roll, pull elbows back, keeping them at 90. Phase 2, externally rotate your arms up as your fists move towards the ceiling. Phase 3, press. Press the hands up slightly, then reverse the steps back down. Move slowly. Feel the muscles around the back and the sides of the shoulders working. No shrugging into your ears. Complete 2 to 3 reps of 6 to 8 slow, controlled reps of this exercise. Exercise number 2 is a banded subscap punch. The purpose is to strengthen the subscap muscle, which often gets neglected and is crucial for shoulder stability in the front of the shoulder. Attach a band to a sturdy anchor at about chest height. Stand sideways to the anchor with your arm inside holding the band. Start with your elbow by your side. From there, punch your arm forward and slightly up, bringing your bicep towards your ear without shrugging. Then return with control. Think smooth punch instead of a fast jab. Keeping the ribs down, don't lean your body to fake the range. Complete 2 sets of 10 reps on each side. Exercise number 3 is a banded scap angel. The goal is to teach your shoulder blades to move correctly and share load with the cuff. Anchor a light band in front of you at chest height. Grab the band with both hands, elbow straight, and walk backwards to create light tension. Pull your hands back to your pockets and then slowly move your arms out and into a Y shape, ending with your biceps near your ears. Return with control. Make sure you feel the shoulder blades tipping back and rotating up. Keep the neck relaxed, avoiding shrugging. Complete 2 sets of 8 to 10 controlled reps. And exercise number 4 is a shoulder tap. The purpose is to build closed chain stability so your shoulder can support your body weight without freaking out. Get into a push-up position. If that's too hard, put your hands on a bench or a countertop. Spread your feet out a little bit wider for more stability. Shift your weight slightly and tap your opposite shoulder with one hand, then switch. Keep your torso as still as possible. No big hip swings. Start slow. Quality beats speed. Complete 2 sets of 8 to 10 taps per side. Now, your MRI tells you there's a tear. It doesn't tell you how much redundancy your shoulder can build around that tear, how your neck, upper back, shoulder blade, and nerves are contributing, how you respond over 24 hours when we adjust your exercises, load, and intensity. If you can do controlled movements like the ones we just went through, stay within the pain rules, and see gradual improvements in strength and confidence, that's strong evidence that your shoulder has more capacity than what the MRI results have said. If your MRI has you thinking, I'm screwed or I'll never be able to lift or play again, that's not the full story. Tears are real, but so is your ability to adapt and build a stronger support system around that shoulder. To help with that, I put together a Big 5 training guide that breaks down the exact 5 areas we talked about: your neck, thoracic spine, shoulder blade, shoulder joint, and nerves, plus the tests and exercises to start changing each one. You can download it using the link in the description. And if you want a second opinion style plan, someone to look at your MRI in the context of your symptoms, your goals, and how you move and fix this for good, then text me the word pain to 720-710-4371 to get a tailored step-by-step approach on how to permanently fix your shoulder pain. Our mission at Comeback Performance is to help over 1 million people around the world eliminate their shoulder pain, avoid unnecessary imaging, injections, and surgeries, and get their lives back. After you reach out, please like and subscribe to the channel. We're putting out daily content based on your guys' questions on shoulder-related topics regarding pain and rehab. At Comeback Performance, the comeback is always stronger than the setback.